Obviously extremely disappointed, but give credit to Minnesota. They did enough to win the game. I think the guys are going to look back at the film here and just realize that we got to capitalize on the moments when they come. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do enough of that. First half, I think we let some things slide by, created some opportunities for them. Second half, I thought our guys came out ready to play. Obviously, took the lead, gave it away, and then had a chance to rally there at the end. Unfortunately, just not enough juice. I do think a lot of our guys were a little bit banged up, especially at the nickel position. Xavier wasn't able to go the rest of the game, and that put T Strain was already out, so that kind of hiccuped us at that nickel position. But I thought our guys battled and did a lot of good things. I know this game meant a lot to our guys, especially Luke offensively, and to come up short, unfortunate. The good news is we got a bye week, probably comes at a really good time to get ourselves healthy. Do a lot of really good work with our ones and twos, or with our twos and threes. We got three guaranteed opportunities left in front of us, and I know this next one will be our last one here in Memorial. We were able to come out of here with 5 W's this year, with obviously the setback today, give us a loss, but I know our guys take a lot of pride in playing here, and I think we'll hopefully carry that forward into the Michigan State game, see where we're at. So with that, injury-wise, I don't think Xavier will be out anything indefinitely, but obviously he wasn't able to compete in the second half. Dylan Rosiak unfortunately has a fracture, so he'll be done for the season. He'll have surgery sometime this week. And then Hank Beatty unfortunately had a dislocation and popped open, broke his skin, so he had stitches, so he couldn't come back into the game. But we should have him back hopefully for the Michigan State game. So a couple other guys were banged. T Strain tried to get back out there this week, just wasn't enough to get him in position. And Joe Barno was very close, just weren't able to get him into the game to get cleared this week. So give a lot of credit to our guys. I thought Caleb Patterson, Pat Bryant, and Torrey Cox did a lot of really good things. They actually practiced with us Wednesday forward, and really needed those guys out there today, so I appreciate their effort and going forward. With that, open it up for questions.
Bret, ball security has become a little bit of an issue for Luke. It's kind of happened. What are the teaching points with him about
ball security with Luke?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're in the pocket, you got to secure it with 2 hands. I think there at the end of the half was a 3-man rush. We got to be able to secure that, and I mean, I think it's fitting ending for us today to get a sack fumble on a 3-man rush. Just shows what wasn't in the deck of cards today, and unfortunately, that's got to be there. I know we work endlessly on those ball security drills, but it's definitely a flea that he's got to get corrected. We have to get corrected for him.
Looks like from Luke, the last 2 games, it just doesn't look like maybe the same crispness that we saw in those first 6 games.
Yeah, I mean it's 2 losses, so it's easy to write that narrative. But I know this preparation. I thought this week had been probably his best week of preparation since early in the season. When he got dumped on his head there in the first half, I was worried about just where he was, but he was convinced he was fine, and obviously had medical clearance. But it's. I think when the quarterback position, I've said this all along, when things go well, you get a lot of credit. When things don't go well, you get a lot of blame. I didn't put him in enough position to be successful. Luke is a very talented quarterback who's got an incredible, bright future in front of him. We gotta do our best to help him out.
Looked like coming off the field, you were trying to get the officials' attention.
Yeah, I was tired of that. It's kind of a clown show in regards to certain things. I got extremely frustrated last week with a non-targeting call that was called on the field and reversed, and this one gets called in from above, and I just get frustrated that, like, to me, if they're saying he hit him and he targeted him, to lose Miles Scott for the rest of this game and the next one, like, it just, the first half of the next game, it's just ludicrous. There's no consistency, and if you target him, you target him, but like that's just really ridiculous.
Did it look like the late hit on Duke on the one where he slid?
I'll leave that to I think there was a lot of people that agreed with it. I don't understand. Again, clown show, whatever you want to say. That's just like, how does that get support? How that doesn't get called? I just don't understand.
It's offensively, just in early downs, what's maybe clicking, but it's putting you in third.
Well, they did a good job of keeping us off track. I thought, they brought some pressures early on that forced us into some second and longs, get back on track, so we didn't have the answer. I think there was one particular point where we just weren't able to, we get in that fringe area, we weren't able to come up with something and capitalize into, at least get us into a moment where we can, make a decision if we want to go for it on 4th down, kick a long field goal. We're stuck in that midfield range, and one bright spot I thought at the end of half to put ourselves in a position to try to hit a 55-yarder. I thought that was a really good execution by Luke in the offense, but it just wasn't in the deck of cards.
You mentioned health, Mark. What else can you get out of the open week?
The bye week.
Yeah.
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 Well, one of the things we've done in this program is really take that bye week to try and maximize the guys that get, the lower rep guys, right? So
Sure.
obviously we've played, 9 physical games. There's been a couple games where it's, maybe not in the fourth quarter, it hasn't been in jeopardy, but for the most part, we played 9 physical football games that the way we play and the way that we execute, I think we got to be very, very smart. We'll get our guys work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's going to be critical. Get a couple of guys that are banged up healthy. But we also got to grow, right? So, get the guys tomorrow to kind of grasp themselves and grow. But Monday, Tuesday got to be really big learning days for all of us.
Bret, you mentioned on the radio, third down just seems a big bugaboo for this defense right now. And just seemed like they were just able to dink and duck the ball.
Yeah, there was a couple, some of the third and longer ones. I get third and 4 and less, but we got to really look at what we're doing. I did think we brought some pressure today that wasn't generated by numbers, it was generated by production. So I thought Seth had a couple nice rushes. There were some really good things that happened in the back end. And again, we're literally playing with a couple guys that are like our threes, 2s and 3s in certain positions, and guys continue to just keep doing what they can, do the best of their ability. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough today.
Find more consistency on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Just to lose games where it's really good and lose games where
Yeah. I think we got to look at we've really the only position that I think we've kind of rotated people is at the right guard, but it's kind of like something will pop up here, something will pop up there. I know that was very frustrating that last play there. We got to have some answers for some edge pressures that I think came up today. Whether we can control with our call, whether we control with our tempo. But I think we just got to really. The best part of the bye week for me is going to be a self scout on us. We do them obviously every week, but I'm not letting my coaches go on the road this week by recruiting rules. We're down to a minimal number of days anyway, so I'm going to really keep my whole staff here and let them really do a self-inventory the next 48 hours, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, on what we've done well, what we haven't done well, and really try to avoid the things that have caused this failure.
Rotated quite a bit of linebackers, inside linebackers.
Yeah.
What you see from those,
Well,
like
I think big one was-
Malachi Hood and
Yeah, when
Kanena?
Rosie got banged up, right, that just kind of gets into our rotation. Malachi Hood's a guy that we've been trying to get in the mix a little bit more, and then obviously when Dylan went down, that put Cruzy into a starting role with Meade, and critical play there at the end when they tried to run the fake punt. It was more because we only had 10 on the field. One of our linebackers came off the field that should have been on the field. So some of those self-inflicted penalties we just can't have. And unfortunately, at the end of the game there, he could have loved to have a couple timeouts. I had to call 2 timeouts because of substitution issues, which is something that's inexcusable for me as a coach. So we got to make sure we get that corrected. And obviously those will be critical moments moving forward.
Brett, how important is it? Kind of talked about this last week, but how important is it to finish strong here in the final 3 games?
Well, I think the finish is great, but for me, to capitalize on the bye week, I get the question. I understand it. I understand what's happened the last couple of years. But I think the biggest thing we got to do is take advantage of the bye week, get ourselves ready, and then we got to get ready to play Michigan State. If I try to think about 3-game stretch, I'll never get through the first game stretch. So our guys have done a really good job of focusing on the moment. Obviously, to lose 2 in a row is extremely painful. To lose 1 at home, I mean, we made a very conscientious effort this year about playing well at home. Did a lot of really good things all year long to get that happen, and unfortunately, we came up 1 or 2 plays today from having a chance to put that thing in a tying situation and be where we're at. So extremely disappointing, but also understand what we built to get here.
Bret, I apologize. You kind of mentioned it, but the timeout right before the 2-point play, was that just so you didn't have 12 or more on the
Yeah,
field?
well, when Miles went down, that took him out of obviously he starts basically in all of our packages, but his backup then becomes Mac Resetich, who then when we pulled him out of his backup role, that put us a situation that one of our younger players, and I know Aaron had talked about it in the halftime, or talked about it during that timeout, but when we were calling for it, that guy wasn't there, so that caused us to put that one last time out there.
Thank you, guys.